Hi, this is Penny, and this is my February fabric junk journal. The challenge is brought to us by dear Julie. She challenged us to make a journal using fabric and fabric embellishments. In the challenge, we were challenged 3 mini challenges. One of them was to make a tassel using some of our fabric along with a few other embellishments like lace, charms, and we were to attach this to our journal. So this is my tassel. I used a vintage earring and I took out the center of it. And then I added some charms, and I added some ball chain rhinestones. I attached it with a grommet that I used a hammer and ended up smacking my finger with it, a thumb. I connected it with a big, a large clasp, lobster clasp. My journal, I did only 2 signatures. My journal measures 5.5 inches wide by 7.5 inches tall. My embellishments for the fabric embellishments are my ribbon rose, my little elastic trim, my ruffle, and my trim, and this trim. I covered the entire journal in fabric. This fabric is a vintage feed sack that I got off of a chair that I reupholstered. The pocket starts on this side. It goes halfway around the back and ends in this vintage polka dot fabric. I just love it. And then I added more fabric and another pocket with pin tucks. I used 2 magnetic clasps to hold it shut. On the outside, I embellished it with our second challenge, which was 10 paper clips, charms, or 10 charms. And I used paper clips. I wrapped them in, this one I wrapped in fabric, a little bit of lace trim, some charms, and a small, I'm not sure what that's called, but it reminds me of a hook for fishing. Our third challenge was to make tags any way we wanted them, and so I made 5 different tags, and this is one of them. And I made used a picture frame, and I made a shaker tag with glitter and sequins. And if you open the frame, the inside I have a pocket with a life card, and the back cover of it is covered in vellum, and I've stitched around each tag and every page in my journal. So my journal has only 2 signatures, and each set of signatures I have covered in fabric. I've used a manila folder and covered and stitched around the folder to make this to hold the signature together and make it a little more sturdy. The inside of the journal I covered in this cute little pink flannel fabric. And I've also made a pin pocket using the feed sack. And I made this pocket here, and it's fabric, one of my fabric pockets with some little lace trim. And that holds my little clipboard that I'm going to use with this journal. I attached a charm to it with a little teapot. The front of the journal, I made a front cover. I made my first fabric flip. I backed it with some cardstock so it would be sturdy because it's going to stand up to a lot of use and abuse. In this flip, I made a pocket. In the pocket, I've got another one of my tags. So my first set of signatures, I'm calling my design section. The second section is for my culinary needs. This section I designed so I can add my ideas. I quilt, I make jewelry, I repurpose furniture. I'm also a cook in a assisted living home. So I love to cook, so I have lots of recipes. So for this, I covered the outside of the signatures in this vintage checked gingham that I've had for several years. I made a tuck here, and it's all sewn in. I had to add a little bling because I love rhinestones. In this section, I also brought me some little friends along to help me design the different things that I plan on putting in here. This here is a fabric embellishment, and I did put another rhinestone. That's some upholstery fabric I used for a chair. I just loved the way it turned out. Here is another one of my tags, and it's a tag inside of a tag. And I embellished this tag with a little embroidery piece and a bird stamp. I thought it was really cute. My second page, I've got this is the center of that vintage earring. I decided to accent this paper clip with my ribbon rose and another rose underneath it, and then a charm. It's really cute. I made a little paper bag, and I used a coloring page, and this is a pocket and another pocket. Okay. This paper, I love it. It's a heavy scrapbook paper, almost like a cardstock, but it is textured. I don't know if you can see that. I love that paper. So on the opposite side, I used a red ink, and I brought out some of the embellishing. I love it. And then I made a little glassine bag with some little cuteness on it. And to help with my designs, I have Princess Diana, and she's got a little tuck here. I made this paper. Well, I didn't make the paper. I just stenciled it. and it turned out really nice. I love the feel of it. It's got a good texture. And I left the other side of it plain. I also, another coloring page, or another coloring card, and one of my little banners. And it has a little dangle. And to help me with this design is Anne Frank. She was one of my heroes in life, or heroines, because she overcame many odds in a time of Great Depression. I used some more of the upholstery fabric here, and one of my favorite scrapbook pages or paper is here. I love it. And then cardstock and a coffee dyed some grid paper, and I love the sound of it, and I love the smell of it. It smells like French vanilla. And then here's another one of my favorite scrapbook papers. I love it. And on the other side, I have Madonna. I used lace, and it's not vintage, it's just wedding lace. And I made a little tag just to jot something down. I have paper doilies. This wrapping paper I got for a set of chest of drawers that I redid, and I lined the drawers with this paper, and I loved it, so I wanted to use it. So I edged it with some fabric. So this is my fabric edge. One of them I have too. Some more scrapbook paper that I like. Anything pink I like. So this is my set of fabric, my fabric page. Excuse me. I put it in the middle of the signature because I wanted it to be the star of the show. It is a vintage hanky. I cut around and took the trim off of it and edged it with a zigzag stitch all the way around it. And I also accented it with, or embellished it with another hanky that has some pretty trim. Some more of that wedding lace. Some of the feed sack with a stamped hen and chick on it. And then some trim. And then this cool mesh stuff. I'm not sure what it's called. It's mesh to me. I got a pocket here and then a pocket on the other side. In the first pocket was my very first tag. I made this tag before I made the journal because this set the whole stage for the entire journal, and I really liked it. I put this little charm on it. It has a little tiny bicycle. I love that. And the second pocket has another tag, and this is a pocket, and a pocket, the stamp is in a pocket. I love the way it turned out. Some more of this polka dot scrapbook paper, and then I found this magazine that had the Princess Diana in it. It was Women of the World, and this, her name is Hermes. I'm not sure if that's her last name, Matahari Hermes, I believe her name is. She set the standards for many Indian women from the Middle East, and I just thought she was just amazing. Here's my another tag I made, and I used a snippet roll. I made a 6-foot snippet roll, and so I used part of it some more of that cityscape. My other section of the paper, lace paper doily, beautiful paper. My coffee dyed grid, and Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe is hiding a tuck behind her, and then I put in the picture of her performing in Korea in 1954, and I put her real name in there. On this page, I have another one of those cute little paper clips with some keys and that lace. I also made a couple of yo-yos, and if you sew, yo-yos are just a circle that you stitch around the outside and pull them tight to make this cute little yo-yo, and you connect them together, or you can leave them like this. I made this really cute little paper bag. This is shipping paper I got from something I ordered from eBay, and I used more coloring page on the inside. I used part of a lace doily, one of these little sticker tags, and then the cover, or the flap. This is part of the marbled cardstock that I used on the front flap, and more of my my upholstery fabric. I just fussy cut those flowers out. Some more of my painted paper. This is some more of that embossed, beautiful embossed paper I love. And this is all about designing. And because this is a design, because it's a design section, I want that in there. Here's my little girls again. This time they're hiding a pocket. They're hiding a pocket. Aren't they so cute? And the back cover. Now this set of signatures is all about culinary. So this is going to hold my recipes and my ideas. So I made a mason jar out of a piece of scrapbook paper, and then used washi tape, and I stitched it in. And then I have my coffee dyed recipe cards behind a tuck. Here's another one of my pages that I made. I used a card, like a gift card, to spread the paint on. And then I just globbed the paint on and then folded the paper in half, and that's what I came up with. I kind of like it. It's really textured. It's really neat. Nice journaling spot. I've got another little brown paper bag, and I put the hen and chick, and I embroidered her. My French knot didn't turn out so well on the chick's eye, but that's okay. And it's a bag. Beautiful hot pink paper. I love it. Recipe card, stripe paper. I've got a little tuck spot here with some more of that washi tape, and a little bow paper with a pocket, and a glassine bag with this paper doily that I stamped, and I added some eyelet trim. And then here's my other set of fabric edge. I did a ruffle with this vintage fabric. And then I'm not sure that I like this, but I like this. It's a nice little tuck spot. I've got another one of these little flag banners on the paper clip. Oh. With a little charm. And then here is some more of my painted paper. And I made, this is my favorite tag. I've got a little photo frame. It's a little plastic. And I tore apart some flowers, and that's what I came up with. Some more of that paper. And this is a tuck and a tuck here. I love this paper. It's a heavy scrapbook, almost a cardstock. Here's my second fabric page. I used another vintage hanky and just went crazy with the sewing machine. It got this nice effect. So I used lace and eyelet trim, made a pocket, and stuck in this cute little tag with the charm, with the paper clip charm, and a little key. Thought that was adorably cute. And I made another pocket on the other side. And here is my last, it's the yo-yos. I put a button in the middle with a rhinestone, paper clip, and a drop. This head pin I had, really pretty.